I mean, we've been talking about that specific build for the past weekend, and
Yeah.
I've been hoping, I've been praying all the time, like, okay, I really want to see it because I haven't seen it being used just yet. But if I'll be honest, I kind of doubt that Faircliff would go into that certain build. It doesn't really feel like something that would fit his style. Um, but
He did
did you
play it in
actually?
he did play it in solo queue today. So
Okay.
I've seen like I viewed his profile before the game, and he had played 1 or 2 games of Jarvan today with the Redemption build, or at least one build with the Redemption. The other was over before 15 or 20 minutes. So then you can't finish your itemization, of course. But he had the components of Redemption there as
Yeah.
well. So he might very well go that build.
All right. Well, we'll see how that works out. So we do have, of course, the spectator delay, so beware of that. But I wonder how he matches up against the Jace. I kind of feel like if he doesn't goes in like full force at level 2 and 3, the Jace will outtrade him. Well, if he misses the knockup, especially, then it will be a pretty horrible time against the long range auto attacks from the Jace. But overall, I'm really excited for that matchup at least.
Definitely. By the way, I have something to notice quickly is that Legenza, the AD carry on the side of Team MoonZone, is Monk. So he just changed his name. And it's still the same AD carry they've played with for the last couple of weeks and with whom they have had a really good amount of success.
Yeah.
And
so, oh no, continue.
Oh, I wanted to look a little bit about the matchup on bot lane. I know it's something you usually do. You go through all the matchups. But it's just really interesting to see, like, we see the Zyra Ashe so often from the side of Dorans Alpha that it's really cool to see that what MoonZone did was also pick a really aggressive bot lane with the Karma Caitlyn to really push out the wave and maybe to counteract the aggression coming from the side of Dorans Alpha.
Yeah, it is a tactic, but honestly, like, if Dorans Alpha manage it well, the shove in from the Caitlyn Karma shouldn't be too much of an issue. The only problem is that the Zyra is also always so squishy and always at risk. I mean, if she gets hit up by a Mantra Q or just some sort of poke, the Caitlyn can easily follow it up with some extra damage, and the Zyra will always be at risk. But if they manage the wave right, I feel that they can just pick up the farm under the turret without any issue. They can set up the Elise then for a gank. The only thing they need to be wary of is Sigma, because he's pretty well known for sitting in a brush for a minute and just waiting and sitting and just calmly assessing the situation and attempting to go for a gank. So if they do set it up, they could end up in a 3v3, and the Karma could be essential there with the triple shield to their players. So I wonder how that one goes, but I feel that, yeah, of course, Caitlyn Karma are going to be pushing in heavy at the early game, but mid game, Zyra Ashe is just going to be obnoxious as hell.
Yeah, definitely. From level 6 onwards, the CC is so huge from that bot lane.
Yeah.
And if they can land their CC, I think the 3v3 is stronger from the side of Dorans Alpha. Because if you can snare them or CC them with an Ashe Arrow or a Leash Cocoon, they can really blow one target up. Though, if we look at the summoners, like when the loading screen is over probably, you can see that Amorphia has chosen to go for the Exhaust, while Anthrax is going for the Ignite. So that can maybe turn the tide, because with Ignite, of course, you can burst someone up a lot quicker than with an Exhaust.
Yeah, I'm pretty surprised at that, because if Faircliff does go for the aggressive build, he would be often diving into the backline, getting onto the Caitlyn, trying to burst her down. So I would kind of expect from a support champion like the Karma to go for the Exhaust to deny some of the damage coming out of Faircliff, but instead he wants to go really aggressive this time.
Yeah, and to make one last point on that, I feel like the Exhaust would also be better, because Karma Caitlyn is not a kill lane. Like, if you go with the Zyra Ashe, what you do is you wait for level 6 and then you burst people and you kill them, right? And with the Karma Caitlyn, it's really push them under the turret, get turret damage and really go from there and try to get the turrets go for rotations. But we do see a 5-man sack on the bot lane from the side of Dorans Alpha.
Yeah, they are a bit split up though, but imagine getting a face check from Anthrax. He could perhaps go for it. Sliver going for a bit of poke. We could get a collapse from the side if they push on forward too much. Are they going to wrap around him? That's going to be pretty crazy. We're all going to see them stacking up right there. They don't have a lot of 3C, but there's a flash forward from Amur. Legends trying to get out. There's the heal. Does he get out? No, first blood is there for Sliver. It was so close, but he could not get away. And Monk just being annihilated right there. That was pretty insane. The wraparound, you know, through the tri-brush.
That was really cool done. Cool and well done by Dorans Alpha. The only thing is, well, there are 2 points now. Elise started with the cocoon, and that is something that can really cost you in your jungle. So you really need a lot of help right now. The second thing is, Sigma and Lenny saw the 5-man bot lane gank at level 1, and they've decided to rush through the red buff of Dorans Alpha and immediately try to go for the steal.
Internet problems for the support. They are going to fix it soon. And it is on the side of Doran, so it did not really affect the gank in the bottom lane.
You know that I changed my the chat box to the left side of the game.
Oh no,
it still hasn't changed, so I can't read any of the chat right now. I don't know how to switch it back because it's like behind the Lee Sin and everything on the screen, so I really have no clue what they're saying.
Maybe you can remove the HUD that shows the buttons for the camera and such.
Oh yeah, how do you do that again?
Toggle spectator HUD. It's H.
H.
It doesn't work for me.
Oh, if I do H, then it also removes the chat, I think. Let's see.
Yeah, it does.
No, your tip was so good. Oh, so well.
Close. Time controls, U. No, that's not it.
That's
not
the
a normal one. All right, GG. Somebody knows the tip. Post it in the chat.
We read Twitch chat, so if you know something, go put it in there, and then I maybe can read the chat again.
That's horrible. I keep on forgetting that nowadays the your client settings are server side instead of client side, and it actually draws over from different PCs. But yeah.
Oh, I know. Like I changed the HUD size of the chat to like the chat skill to 100 and now back to 42. So now I changed it. I found it.
Nice, good job.
But maybe we should focus back on the game again.
Definitely. So we do see Heat trading pretty effectively there in the mid lane, but it is of course what Ziggs does. All Muji really has to do is play safe and just farm it up. And at level 6, I think he can do something against Heat, but for now we'll just have to deal with the poke coming out of that Ziggs.
Yeah, and we need to take a look at Dirko right now. Is he after his wolves going to the top side jungle? Because if he is, he's going to find an almost empty jungle, and it looks like he is. And when he sees that the Raptors are gone, he's going to be a little bit annoyed.
Yeah, there's really not much else he can do now at this point. If he would have somebody to check there, like maybe Furcliff could have walked past the rat buff and take a sneak peek, and then Dirko would have had the information. He could have gone for the rat buff on the opposite side of the map, but that's a bit unfortunate for him. So maybe we'll see an early gank on his top lane now.
It might very well be, especially because Lenny is pushing in the lane. That of course gives the opportunity to gank through the river. It's also weird to see that Lenny now he's placing a ward. That was just in the nick of time because Dirko could have chosen to gank like level 2, especially because he had this cocoon ready. So there was not really a reason to really delay the gank.
Yeah, and it really does not help his clear right now. So going for the really early gank would have been much better. But Moonfire is in a lot of trouble. There's the heal from Sliver, just keeping him safe. But that's exactly the point we were talking about, like in the loading screen, that you know the Zarya is so squishy, and we see a fight in the top lane. By the way, Lenny and Furcliff juking out. Here is Dirko, but my screen changes to the bottom lane because Monk is getting a lot of damage. I think top side should be okay. Looks like it. So a lot of fighting, but no summoners used even on both sides.
Yeah, Lenny was really smart. He walked behind the minion wave, so the Cocoon of Elise could never reach him. So at that point, you're safe. And with the Ignite, maybe if Antrax could have hit the Ignite on Lenny, he would have gotten the kill. But Lee Sin is around the corner trying to go for a gank on the bot lane.
This is so sneaky, but he hit the cannon minion. That was unfortunate. But still, they're trading so heavily in this bottom lane. Like, both sides are pretty low. Sigma really wants to go for the gank, but yeah, the Karma Caitlyn are going to push in. So how are you going to dive this turret when you're still at level 6? Because I think he needs to kick first if he really wants to go for the dive.
He probably does. It is interesting to note also that both AD carries started with the Dorans shield. And against the Caitlyn is something you usually do because it gives you a lot of additional sustain. If you get hit, you get 20 health back over 5 seconds. It gives 6 health every 5 seconds, so you got a lot of sustain from that. Oh, we see Lenny going on Derko. Probably not much going to happen, just Derko passing by. But as a Caitlyn, you definitely have the option to still go for the Dorans Blade, because you are pushing the wave and you want to push in, and the additional attack damage can help if you then attack the turret or maybe trade on the AD carry and support.
And also, top side, Fercliff is doing a pretty good job keeping up with the CS so far. He's pretty much equal with Lenny at this point, and has got the first back. Uses teleport to go back to the top lane. I expect Lenny to do the same, but the junglers have not had too much of an effect in terms of ganking. You know, we saw the top lane gank that in the end didn't really force anything. But Sigma is just taking control of the red side jungle of Dirko at this point.
Yeah, he's playing a really good game right now. From the start, he knew where Dirko was. And because if you know at the start where he is, then you also know where he's going to be the next 2 to 3 minutes. And what you see is Sigma counter jungling completely right now. Then he teleported back to lane to get the wave again. So he has complete pressure there as well. Six usually is pushing in the mid lane as well. Right now, Muji got level 6, and maybe it seems that Amit is giving a little bit more respect to the Orianna.
Yeah, as you see, jumping in again. Sigma is nearby. He is level 5 at this point, but also Dirko wrapping around towards the top side. They're going to find each other. Cocoon lands onto Sigma, and nice damage out of Dirko. Fercliff is on his way, but it looks like Sigma gets away through the blast cone. But in the meantime, the bottom lane in real trouble. We saw the flash out of Monk, but Sliver got rooted up, so he's going to be just fine at this point. But again, fights in the top lane and the bottom lane at the same time.
Oh
no! Sliver actually got him. Oh, and instantly the emote spam. That is frustrating.
That was really unfortunate, and maybe a bit of a poor position there because he still had the heal and he didn't position correctly. You need to stand behind the minion in a straight line compared to Ashe or behind your Karma, because otherwise the arrows still hit you. And oh wow.
That was unexpected, to say the least. As we see, actually, Muji is rotating to the bot lane, gets the kill with the shockwave. But we see the Ziggs ulti, Amur just stepping out of it. But he cleared most of the minions, at least in the bottom wave, so they cannot put more pressure onto that turret.
Amit is not gone though. He's still in the bot side trying to look for a gank on Sliver, but Sliver is walking backwards. Amit's still going on, but probably can't do too much with Muji. But there is Sigma also trying to look for the gank. Doesn't seem to result in too much though.
Yeah, good protection coming out of Sliver and Amur to make sure that Muji gets a safe exit, because he was in a bit of a tricky position at that point. But they make it work, and they are up 3-0 at this time, and 1,000 gold lead. Not too bad, but still a lot more to go before they can take this game.
Yeah, and as a quick side note, Sigma had to flash after getting caught by the Elise in the top side. The blasting cone wasn't up at that point, it seemed, or he just had to flash early because he was chunked really low and Fyodor was on his way. Either way, his flash is down, so we won't see any kick flash mechanics from the Lee Sin, at least for another couple of minutes. And Dirko also, even though he got invaded a lot early on, he because he saw Sigma in
Oh,
the top side.
we have a fight in the bottom
so-
lane. Anthrax is now out of position because Monk had to jump away, but looks like both of them make it out. But we have Sigma in position, gonna go into that brush. So perhaps Sliver and Amur will be baited for a move. As we see the E of the Ashe being used in the wrong direction for this
Sigma
one.
special.
Oh, is he gonna get the kick? But unfortunately, Sliver flashed away in time. Is gonna go right back in there to do some damage back. But good timing out of the flash from Sliver.
That was definitely incredibly important there. If he didn't, like right now, it cost him one flash, but it also cost Sigma his complete topside jungle and probably all the control he had over the invading of the enemy jungle. So all the pressure that Sigma built up is gone now because he had to be bot lane 2 times. And in those 2 times, it only resulted in 1 flash in total. So really, Dirko is getting back in the game purely because of his team plays.
Doing pretty well, and seems like bot lane has been the point of attention so far, but I think it's going to be even more so, seeing as Sliver is level 6, has his ulti available. Amur is also level 6, but used it in the trade earlier.
You see the fight in the top side right now? Fyodor going in when the shock blast of Lenny missing, of course.
But Dirko is here. That's the ulti for Furcliffe, getting on top of Lenny. Lenny really no place to go, and Dirko picks up that kill. Didn't even need a cocoon to get that one.
Yeah, really well played. Also by Lenny, by the way, he didn't waste his flash essentially, because even if he flashed, Ailey still had the cocoon ready, still had the repel ready. So also good play by Dirko, by the way, trying to bait out the flash by using his Q as Ailey's first in human form, even afterwards just waiting, because Lenny had to dodge always, and you can't really dodge it at some point. So really patient play by Dirko, getting the kill. And there's Sigma.
Yeah, Sigma really low there. But we have MoonZone rotating in. They're gonna leave his buddies alone to kill off Anthrax because he really wants to get the double onto. Oh, Sigma already gets killed off actually. And Monk gonna die shortly after. They did pick up Amur, but now we see Dirko moving into the mid lane, trying to defend the turret. So first turret blood did go over to Team MoonZone, as Dirko actually goes pretty low. That was kind of risk out of him. Only like 10 or 20 HP left.
And the top side, the fight is still going on between Fyodor and Lenny. It doesn't seem like, without the ultimate from the side of Fyodor, nothing much is going to happen after it, but they both jump to half HP, and wow, that's a lot of action at once immediately. In the bot lane fight, really good roam from Muji to be there first. The only thing is that maybe he shouldn't have tried to kill off Anthrax with his ball there, but really gone towards Amur to shield him and try to let him escape as well. But even though they're still 3 for 1, this Anthrax roam is not going to do that much, but they will go try to get the second turret of the game. And that's really what they need to do now. Get the rotations, get the turrets, and try to snowball the game from there.
So they picked up that bottom lane turret and has the assist of Amur. But yeah, Muji really wants to position himself to get a shockwave, I think at least, onto Monk and Sigma at the same time. He really wants, well, it looked like he dodged around Anthrax and really wants to make sure that they were boxed in. But then Amur went for the challenge and got killed off. So as you said, maybe he should have moved in to shield him and kept him alive as well. But
this is really dangerous by Dirko, staying there without a lot of help. We see the Ashe arrow coming in, the turret almost being down, and there is going to be action here.
Yeah, Ashe arrow is in there. It's going to take a while, but Dirko is so low already. Furcliffe is going to go in there to save Dirko. Can he do so, though? There's a nice root from Amur Fire, and they get the kill. So that was pretty close to Dirko, but well played from his team to keep him alive. And a bit overreaching for Sigma, perhaps, with the flash trying to get that kill. Because at best case scenario, it would be a 1-for-1 trade.
Yeah, that was a little bit greedy, especially after they already got the turret, because you can see the gold difference, especially with this turret going down again. 2 turrets down, it's still 1.5k gold lead only for Dorans Alpha with 7 more kills. So it's really Team MoonZone playing around the objectives right now, and if they don't lose this mid turret, they really are in a good position to swing the gold back in their favor.
Yeah, they are, and Also, nice to note, no attention has been given to neither the Dragon or the Rift Heralds so far. We still have about 5-6 minutes to, for either of the teams to get the Rift Heralds, which has been a point of attention, this past weekend at least. So I really would expect Dorans to go for it, seeing as they have, the better, how would you say, the better feeling in this game so far, or the better movements. And I think that picking up that Rift Herald would really help them pick up some more turrets, because that's the only point they lack in right now.
Definitely, though the score does give a little bit of a skewed view at this point. Yes, they're 1-8 ahead, but and they definitely also have the composition that is way better into the mid game. I feel like, because they have a lot of big potential. There's not a lot of really fight engaged from the side of Team MoonZone, and it feels like they had to go for a little bit more of an early game advantage. But if they can go for the push, they can still go back. But there, Sigma got a call.
Yeah, it got rooted up, but gets out to safety with the safeguard to his buddy Anthrax. But yeah, they have a sort of, I wouldn't say the old school type of poke composition, but it's really close. They have the Ziggs, they have Caitlyn, Karma,
and the
Jace. So everybody knows what happens if you get behind with a poke comp. You usually lose the game, because it's really difficult to get back into it and to get the poke to work.
Yeah, that's why they probably needed a little bit of a bigger lead going into the mid game. But if they can still get the split push maybe a little bit to work with the Jace, maybe go for siege. Like, if they can get to in the situation where they can get the siege going, they are really strong. They have the Caitlyn traps, they have the poke from Ziggs and Jace, and a lot of disengage as well with the Lee Sin kick, Karma shield. So it's really going to be a completely different style.
Oh no, Sigma is in trouble, gets hit by the arrow and gets follow-up from Berglift and Amur. Nice pickup there while they were doing Rift Herald. So this is a perfect scenario. When you pick up the Rift Herald, you usually want to get one pick and then get some turrets. However, there's still a lot of wave clear on the side of MoonZone, so I don't think it's enough, but still pretty nicely done there.
It's a good first try, and it's going to be really difficult to break this turret down, especially if they're not going to use the Rift Herald just yet. Oh, there they are.
They're gonna use the Rift Herald from the side. That's an interesting one. But ulti used, and no, there's a shutdown onto Sliver already. And also Deku has been slain in a 4v5 scenario to lose 2 people. So a lot of damage coming out the team of MoonZone, surprisingly.
It feels like a little bit of a mixed goal there. Part of them wanted to go for the dive, part of them wanted to go for the turret first, and going for a 4v5 dive without an Ashe is something that's really difficult to do, and especially if your Ashe then gets blown up by the 6. I don't know what Sliver did there. He still has his flash and heal available, so I'm not sure if he just didn't expect the damage, looked maybe a screen away to see if he could engage somewhere and just didn't pay attention at himself because the enemy was so far away. But he didn't pay enough attention there because he should have survived.
It was like 3 hits. Wait, I gotta check this again. Alright, yeah, it's Ziggs Q, Jace Q, and then the ulti from Zig. Really quickly after another. So
yeah, that's really obnoxious to deal with.
You almost didn't respond to it.
Yeah, you're also not used to it, right? Because who plays 6 anymore?
Yeah.
Oh dear God, that damage from 6 is so huge right now. Dorans Alpha is ready to disengage, but they need to be careful. Sigma is on the side, Lenny's on the side, and they're going in again.
Sigma wanted to go for the flash kick onto Sliver, but gets Amur instead, but now he gets killed himself by Sliver. People are on the runs, 4v5, but they used a lot of their crouch control. Well, they used the arrow, and once again, in comes the bomb, and Sliver is half HP.
That hurts so much. Like, oh, Fyodor is getting caught. He can EQ out of there with his standard, but maybe he's doing so much damage. Only 1/2 item complete. He's still bursting people from like full to 25 HP or maybe even 50 with just an ultimate. And Dirko getting low immediately as well on the side at the start of the fight. And if Sigma can tone down aggression a little bit, or take into account the summoners on the side of Dorans Alpha, I feel like they can even win these fights, even though they really shouldn't. I feel like with the team compositions of Dorans Alpha.
It is going to be difficult, though, I think, for Dorans Alpha to shield themselves from the poke coming out of MoonZone. They have a pretty aggressive support who's going to go mostly AP. And same thing goes really for that jungler. Like, maybe that's Furcliff wants to go towards that protective route a bit more, but I really feel they need something like a Locket to at least block the initial damage from the ulti. Maybe even Redemption to heal back from it during the fight. Because as it looks right now, they're just taking so much damage.
I definitely agree with you there. And with the Crystalline Bracer being bought and the Spirit Visage already from the side of Fyodor, it definitely does look like he's going for the Redemption build. If he then also goes Locket, he might be a little bit low on armor. And yes, Ziggs and Karma do quite a bit of magic damage. There's also a lot of attack damage coming from the side with the Jace, with the Lee Sin, with the Caitlyn. And right now he isn't really that worried about it, but it could play a role later on.
Yeah, Sliver seems to be doing the Dragon solo, as his team just gives a little bit of pressure around that red buff, making sure that the team of MoonZone doesn't get into the Dragon Pit. So they pick up their second Ocean Drake, which might help them in the fights against MoonZone, because it does give them the regeneration to heal back up after they've been hit up with some poke. But of course, they need to be out of combat first, so effectiveness might be questionable still, but...
Oh, the arrow is going off to Amtax, and he's going first out. He has a flash, but probably not able to use it there. And great catch by Dorans Alpha. And are they going for the Baron immediately? It's a little bit of a risky call with Sigma still being up. But the smite of Sigma is still 25 seconds away, so is he going to steal this one?
Yeah, but of course that's something they don't know. There's the Ziggs ulti, chunking them down to 50%. But now Furcliff decides to go for the gates onto Heat. He has to flash away, and Shockwave misses because of it. Furcliff's still not done with the fight, but his team is really looking scared. And Dirko is so damn low, but there we see Sigma jumping and gets the kill into Muji. It's a 4v5, and I wonder what call MoonZone is going to make. Do they want to get some turrets? It does look like it. So they might just pick up some more and get the lead back in this game.
Definitely the right call by MoonZone. Great fight for them. And if they get this mid turret again, as you mentioned, they're back into the gold lead after around 15 minutes of being in the gold deficit. And if only Dorans Alpha had known that Sigma Smite was off cooldown, instead of the fight, they would have turned their attention to the Baron and finished it. But right now, they've tried to go for the fight, but the Ash Arrow was down again. The Shockwave missing because Heat flashed, and this 1v1 probably not going too much, but Sigma doesn't he have his W? Oh.
Yeah, he took quite some damage from Dirko.
I expected the safeguard like immediately. There's a ward there for him, so he could just go over the Baron, but maybe it was down.
Could be so. But for now, we still don't know what Furcliff is going to buy. Sigma is a little bit out of position. He's going to get hit up by Dirko, but gets the safeguard away to the ward. But once again, in a tricky spot there, but he is Lee Sin, of course, so can't get away pretty easily. But Dirko starting out to Baron again.
Back. And this is a little bit more tricky for Team MoonZone to recognize. Muti is of course still in the mid lane. Fyodor in the bot lane, but Darren is doing so
Oh wow, the shockwave onto Monk and the arrow right after it. Muji surely is going to finish that one off, but gets a lot of damage back from Heat, and the shock blast not going to hit. Muji gets out alive with one kill, but they just keep on taking so much poke damage. I don't know how much longer they're gonna hang on to this.
Oh, first the Baron is both really low, and then Heat and Lenny coming in. But again, the catch onto Monk now. Both he and Sigma having 4 deaths already. And really, that's the thing that's keeping Dorans Alpha in this game. Is them getting the picks, engaging the fights, but at the same time, when they do get the pick, they don't really get anything else. Okay, they got the 2 dragons, they have 3 turrets down, but other than that, they can't really snowball a pick into more objectives.
Yeah, they're really lacking on that aspect. But also, what adds to it is that the CS difference is substantial. I would say, 30 in the mid lane, 30 in the bottom lane, 20 each in the top side, and also 30 in the jungle. So that's also a part where MoonZone has been challenging the team of Dorans and has been winning it. So the fights is really where Dorans needs to get the right amount of picks and be able to get an objective after it. Because every time they try, they get one pick, they call for the Baron, then we've seen Ziggs ulti or a shock blast from Jace, and they need to go off it again because they get too damn low.
And speaking about the Baron, they're doing it really quickly.
No,
there goes below Sigma going for the steal. Is he going to get it?
No, he doesn't go for it. He does get the steal actually. Sigma doing such a nice job, and 2 ramp is already down. Front row is off. Ferk flashes out of it, but here's Monk from the sideline. Ferk, oh no, he does not get away. That is really unfortunate. Man, 3 kills for MoonZone.
There was no need to go for that Baron. It's so greedy to go for it. They have so much engaged potential. They don't need to go for this phase right now. And Team MoonZone just being in the nick of time there, getting the steal from Sigma. Great smite by him. And after that fight with 3-0, they get the inhibit as well.
Yeah, they might actually get a kill on Moo there. Nice flash, just dodging the Q damage. But now Lenny gets killed, so they lose a member. But I doubt that Dorans is going to really do anything with it. So, man, I don't know. I really question the call there by Dorans. We've seen them doing it 3 times, and every time they get picks off of the Baron area because of the either, as I said, shock blast or Ziggs ulti or whatever. It's too much damage for them to deal with.
Yeah, and what they would just have done, instead of going for the Baron, get the control they did right now, clear all the wards from the side of Team MoonZone, and then Team MoonZone has to face check. They have to go in because Dorans Alpha has shown that they are willing to go for the Baron, so you need to check. And when they check, then you have all the engage in the world. You have the Jarvan that can go in. You can land a Cocoon maybe, you can land an Ash Arrow. And then when you can get 1 or 2 kills, then you can decide, are we going to go for the Baron or are we going to try go for a push? And they just didn't have the patience right there. And Team MoonZone just pounced on that opportunity.
Yeah, and it looks like Team MoonZone is going to pick up their first dragon at this point. It's another Ocean. We'll see Mountain coming after that. Potentially the last one of the game, depending on how fast they pick it up. But I really feel for what Dorans can do right now. I mean, I'm not sure if they have enough power to get back in there. They have enough crowd control. They just need to engage quickly, or otherwise they're going to lose so much of their base.
Yeah, but maybe this turret is not the one to go for. Oh, that damage from the 6th ultimate. Everyone almost half HP right there. And this might give MoonZone the opportunity to really go for the inhibitor turret as well.
Yeah, I wonder if Sliver can really do something. There's a kick from Sigma. Sliver is dead. Monk picking that one up. He goes after Muji as well. But in the side, as you see, I'm here battling it out with Dirko. He wins it. And now only 2 defenses remain. Make that one. Dirk is the last man standing. Is he going to get out alive? Yes, he does. But with the minions coming in there, I'm afraid he's not going to be able to defend it. And this is going to be it.
This is going to be the game. Monk trying to go for Fyodor. Fyodor now going to try and defend. Maybe he doesn't die, but even if he survives here, it doesn't matter at all. He gets a kill into Monk. Sigma still in the chase with Lenny, but I'm here and Antax going for the base, and this should be game. Amur fire back up again, but I don't see any way to come back here.
It really doesn't matter that much. And there you have a Team MoonZone now definitely securing that spot into the finals in Amsterdam on the 24th of June. And Dorans Alpha not secured yet. They have 9 points, but they're not 100% certain they're going to be into the finals yet.
No, they're still waiting for that last victory. Last week against Echo Zulu, this week against the MoonZone. And they have a little bit of a tough schedule even ahead, I think. So it's going to be really tough for them to still place for the Amsterdam Arena. And this game, they did have the opportunity to go there because they had a great early game. They survived the laning phase, even came ahead with the gold lead. And then once the mid game came along, they got the picks, but they didn't translate it into anything useful.
Yeah, well, I'm just checking the schedule for them for next week. Next week, they're up against Lachengeras. So potentially that could be a free win depending on what Lachengeras is going to do with their lineup.
That's true.
We can't say for certain.
That would be a really easy way to get into the Amsterdam Arena.
Yeah, it definitely would be. So, but if that's not the case, they have to battle it out against Lachengeras. And after that, they're up against Saxon 1.
Ooh.
So,
That's
I mean,
really tough.
Yeah, but the flip side of it is, of course, they are 6 points ahead of their nearest competitor. So it really will be up to how do their competitors do it? Do they get up there towards the 9 points? And then it goes for what is it? Individual matchups. How they played against each other. I think.
Yeah, probably it's going to be the head-to-head count. I think it's called it.
Yeah.
But I think they have a pretty good. Really a straight-up account against the other teams. They've won from Asterion, they've won from Avenue, and they've won from MCon. So really against 3 teams already, they've shown that they're going to win. And only Lachengeras is the team with 1 victory that they haven't won against. So they should be good. And also Team Echo Zulu. So Echo Zulu is really then the competitor for Dorans Alpha. For all the other teams, they don't really have to be scared of them.
That's true. So we'll see how it goes for them. At least congrats to Team MoonZone to making it into that finals. Up next is going to be, let's take a quick look. It is Echo Zulu who are going to battle against Asterion. And for both of these teams, it is going to be really important because it is, as you just said, maybe not a last chance for Asterion because their head-to-head matchups aren't too great. But even though, even still, they potentially can get up there.
If they lose this week, getting to the Amsterdam Arena is going to be really, really difficult. It's not over just yet because there are 5 teams right now with only 1 victory. But especially if you play against the other teams with only 1 victory, you have to win those games. Otherwise, it's going to be so tough.
So it's time to get ready for that matchup. Echo Zulu against Asterion coming up in about 5 minutes.